everybody, this is Diana from So Very Crafty, and we are here today to make this fantastic little hanging dish towel. It is fun and functional and so easy to make, even though it has a buttonhole. And we're going to show you exactly how to make this buttonhole, at least on my machine, the Husqvarna Viking Opal. This is a very simple beginner sewing project that comes with a free pattern, as all our patterns here on So Very Crafty are free and easy to use, so we should get started. But before we do, I'm going to urge you to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up for this video, because this one is super simple. So let's get started. The first thing that we are going to need is our pattern, and it looks like this, sort of like a rocket ship with a little rounded corners. And we are going to cut from our fabrics 2 pieces of our hanger fabric. Now, if you want, you can use some fun fabrics for this. As long as it's a woven cotton, you should be good to go. And we are going to use 1 piece of Pellon SF 101 interfacing. And I'll put the link in the comments section on how you can get some SF 101 for your project. But if you're using a decorator weight fabric, you don't really need this SF 101. But if you're using a quilting like fabric for this, I would recommend using the 101 just to give it a little bit of body to your hanger part of your project and to make your buttonholes a little sturdier. So the very first thing that we are going to do, the other thing that we're going to need, of course, is a dish towel. And what I've done is I have these great little flour sack dish towels, and I'll put the link in the comments section on how you can go about getting these particular dish towels, because I just love them. They come in a packet of like 12 or 13, something like that, and they are fun, and I really like them. What I have done to start out, though, is cut out my pattern pieces and cut out one of my interfacing pieces. So we're going to set our pattern aside, and the first thing we're going to do is we are going to fuse our interfacing to the wrong side of one of our hanger pieces. And lately I have gotten this fun little quilting press, so we are just going to head over and grab my cordless iron, and I will put the link for the cordless iron also in this comment section, because I just love my cordless iron. And we're going to press our interfacing right onto this project. Now, I'm just going to use my hot iron, and I'm going to press this interfacing right on here. And what will happen is it will fuse the glue right on here. Whoops, we got a little bit of a crunchy, so we're going to undo that and fix it. And while I'm here using my little quilting press, I am going to press my other piece together. There we go. I'm going to set my quilting press aside along with my cordless iron, and we're going to move on to our next step. we are going to place our fused piece and our other piece right sides together, and then we're going to head over to the sewing machine because we are going to stitch these two pieces together all the way around, starting at the bottom. We're going to stitch all the way up to the point, back down to the bottom, but we're going to leave this opening at the bottom open for the time being. So let's head over to the sewing machine, and we're just going to go using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. That's a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and we're going to stitch all the way around here. So let's head over to the machine. Okay, so here we are at our sewing machine, and we are just going to stitch a 1/4 inch seam all the way around our hanger piece so that we can join these two pieces together. Okay, there we have it, a nice 1/4 inch seam all the way around our hanger piece. Now we are back, and we are going to do a couple of things to our piece before we turn this right sides out. And we are going to clip off the tip of our point so that we have a nice point without cutting through the stitching. So we need to make sure that we don't cut through the stitching. And we have some dips here. We're just going to cut a slash there and another slash there. And we're going to clip right around these curves so that they are nice and flat when we turn our project right sides out. And that's really all you have to do. So now we are going to turn our project right sides out. I'm going to run over and get my chopstick and make sure that that point is nice and pointy. Okay, as you can see, we're getting a nice pointy point here. And we are going to bring back our hot iron and our quilt and press. And we are going to press our hanger piece before we move on to our next step. Nice and neat. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to take our dish towel, and I have actually cut this dish towel in half widthwise, because otherwise it's going to be very long. And if we fold it in half, it's going to be very bulky. So I've just cut this in half widthwise. And now I am going to fold this sort of like that, so that it measures about 6 inches across, and it will fit right inside of our opening for our hanger piece. But before we actually put this inside our opening, we need to fold under, like a hem, our opening piece about a ½ inch or so. You can do it more or less, it's really up to you. And I would press this as well. Just make sure the front and the back are even. We're just going to press this a little bit. Move that aside. And now we can insert our towel inside of our opening of our hanger piece, just like that. Perfect. Now we're just going to pin this. You're only going to need a couple of pins here. And we're going to head over to the sewing machine, and we are going to stitch 2 lines of stitching right across here to hold this firm in place. And then while we're over at the sewing machine, we are going to sew a buttonhole. And I'll show you how to do it on my machine. Your machine may be a little different, but just follow your manufacturer's instructions, and making this buttonhole is going to be a snap. So let's head back over to the sewing machine. this buttonhole is done. Now we take our seam ripper and we are going to just cut a hole right in between our stitching, making sure not to interfere with the stitching. And there we have our buttonhole. Perfect. Now we've finished our buttonhole, and all we have to do is bring our tongue piece over to our bottom of our hanger, and we can just reach inside our hole and mark with a pen. I've used a Friction heat erasable pen, and I'll put the link to this in the comment section also. And now all we have to do is sew on a button, which I have right here. I'm not going to waste time with you and sew on this button, but as you can see, I've sewn on a button for this other one that we've done, and all you have to do is button it up. Perfect. And we have completed our super simple hanging hand towel that anybody with basic sewing skills and a buttonholer can make. You can even make these buttonholes by hand if you want to. Go on YouTube, and I'm sure there are videos that can show you just how to do it by hand. But if your machine has a buttonhole foot, go ahead and give it a try and make this project very, very easy and super handy in the kitchen. So thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and head over to www.sewverycrafty.com for many, many more sewing and crafting tutorials for the beginner and intermediate sewist and crafter. So thank you, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Bye.